Welcome to Sew and Tell, where sewists from fashion, theater, and indie sewing bring their different perspectives to the hottest trends in the sewing community. I'm Meg Healy.
I'm Amanda Carestio.
And I'm Kate Zaynard. Today on the podcast, we're getting into the holiday spirit. We'll talk about sewing for holiday parties, and then we'll discuss the ins and outs of sewing homemade gifts. We'll each share something in our SewJo segment, and then we'll ask to hear from you too. But before we get started, how's everybody doing today? Has the holiday panic set in yet?
I should be panicked because I'm not even panicking yet. But yeah, I feel like this time every year kind of catches me by surprise, and it's kind of nice because I wait until the last minute to panic. I guess that's a good approach to it, right?
That's a strategy for sure.
It's a something.
Meg?
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like I'm already in the holiday spirit. I can't believe it's not even the holiday season, like really yet. We're just in December. Because last year I was totally a Grinch. I didn't want anything to do with Christmas. I just was a real, Grinch, totally. I even had a Grinch tree as my Christmas tree. We didn't even get out our decorations. So this year I'm like super amped because I'm like 2 years built up of holiday spirit,
Awesome. Well, this time of year is always extra stressful for me because I am lucky enough to have both my parents, my husband, and one of my sisters all have birthdays in December, as well as actually having Christmas. So I spend my December double buying for everybody. And then my godson's right at the beginning of January too. So this is where I'm just like, everybody and everything and all the presents. I have to go up with multiple things for multiple people.
Oh, yeah.
It's always just like, I always just go kind of nuts. But
yeah, it's like thinking of the gifts is harder for me than like actually getting them. So
that's true.
I have them all thought out, so I'm good.
So
I'm
not
too
too
bad.
bad. It's good to have a plan.
Yeah, I feel like I've kind of got a handle on it this year. So that's kind of cool. I think part of it was that our American Thanksgiving was really super early in November this year. And so that kind of gave us an extra week after Thanksgiving before December hit. And so I feel like that's kind of helping keep me calm. So holiday season, let's get started.
Yeah, so that leads us to our first segment, all on holiday party wear. So I just have a quick funny story relating to this topic because I attended with my fiance to a holiday party on Friday. It was at this really nice bar that we love to go to in Toronto, and the whole front half was rented out. And we thought, what a great occasion to break out the ugly Christmas sweater. And I made this really fun skirt out of really ugly like tablecloth fabric last year.
Yes.
So we showed up, bells and whistles on. Nobody else was dressed up.
Oh my
Everyone
gosh.
is in a little black dress, like nice holiday. And I was like, geez, we really missed the mark on this one. But
But you enjoy dressing up.
oh yes, I mean, that stuff would normally faze me, but as I get more confident in myself and sewing things for myself, I love this skirt. And what else am I going to wear it? I was like, who cares? And, we got some stares, but eventually, even the waitresses coming up to me, they're like, oh my gosh, Julianne, I love that sweater. It was like a Ninja Turtle knitted Christmas sweater. And so we
Oh
just
my gosh.
became the life of the party. So
Sometimes
just
I
a
think
fun,
Sometimes I think you just have to do it that way.
You just got to do it.
I've been known to show up a little overdressed to things myself, and sometimes you just gotta like embrace it.
You just gotta own it. You can't be like, oh no, like you can't shy into a corner. You just gotta be, I'm here and look what I'm wearing. And
Exactly. Yeah. We have our office Christmas party coming up on Friday, and we have discussed doing a little hashtag sew frosting for the party and just kind of going all out, even though it's during the day and not really the kind of thing where you dress up a whole lot. But me and Jill and Amanda, we're gonna do it for sure.
I know. Do I have time to sew something before that?
You? Me? No. You? Maybe.
Maybe.
yeah, Amanda definitely
We'll
can.
see.
But guys, can we just like Skype me in for your guys' holiday Christmas party? I'm just so alone over here.
I know, and you actually got to be here last year because you were filming that day.
I know,
And
I
so
was
it's so
filming.
sad
Right.
you won't be able to be here with us. But we're actually going out to a restaurant this year. But I may be able to pull up something on my phone. We'll have to see.
Yeah, so speaking of, again, holiday party wear. So just relating back to one of the stories in So News got me kind of thinking for this as well in my own experience. I do have some more swanky holiday parties coming up for friends and get-togethers. So I think I already got kind of the ugly Christmas sweater out of the
your
way.
system.
So yeah, but I think holiday is a great time to make and wear something extra special, some glitz and glam, some sequins. And so I love that holiday separates piece because it's kind of building into the wardrobe pieces that you already have, just making a few special things, and you can make so many different outfits from just a couple of things. And I actually sewed, my favorite thing that I sewed for that series is this like blue bodysuit. And I think it was, what was it paired with in the magazine? This really, really cool silver maxi skirt. And that's just like a really special outfit. And I loved that article in the magazine. I think it's one of my favorites. And Amanda, you posted on it as well, saying it was one of your favorites too.
It was. And the starting place was really, yes, the holidays are such a great time to make something special, take a pattern that's already in your library and kind of give it an upgrade with a special material like sequins and faux fur and faux leather, and all of those kinds of fancy things. But then also kind of making sure that you can wear it again instead of just a one-time thing. You can pair them together, and together they make a really stunning outfit. And then how do you wear that later in the year? And we loved how it came out.
Right. Well, like that outfit that Meg was just talking about with that long, flowy, beautiful charmeuse or whatever it was skirt and the bodysuit, it's kind of like almost a ball gown sort of look. But the neat thing about it is that you don't need a ball gown occasion to wear it again. You can just pop on the bodysuit with, I don't know, a pair of jeans, and then you've got a perfectly lovely thing to wear out to, a concert in the park in the summer or something like that. So I think it's a really neat concept, and it's one of those bonuses of separates that you can kind of tweak them in those different directions.
And I think that was another starting place, that kind of when people think about holiday parties, they think about dresses and those signature pieces. And I'm not really a winter dress kind of person. I don't
Too
really
cold.
Yeah, too cold. We're in Colorado. I don't like wearing tights, and so I feel like separates are really practical, but that doesn't mean that they can't be super fun.
Yeah, and dresses, if you wear a dress, it's kind of like the whole outfit. So with
Right.
separates, you can go to a couple different parties, but use same pieces, but just switch out certain elements, like a fur blazer or a shimmery tank or something. So I really like that. Yeah.
And it gives you some options too for changing up your accessories. I don't know if this happens to you, but I get like really fixated on, this dress that's made out of gold lace with gold glitter on it. I have this dress. I love it. But I can only wear gold jewelry with it, right? But if you mix up a couple pieces in that article, they were all in silvers and blacks and blue. You can take a black and a blue piece and you can pair it with gold, or you can pair it with silver, or you can throw in some rose gold or whatever, and it doesn't tie you so deeply to certain elements of your accessories.
Yeah, because the holiday season is so busy with sewing anyway. So if you sew something not specifically that's super Christmassy, like I did for my skirt, but you can actually wear it after Christmas. I mean, why can't I wear my holiday printed skirt after the holidays? Now I'm just thinking I should just break that out.
I think you should.
What color is it?
It's all the colors. Okay, I'll
colors?
show you a picture. It's all the colors.
I think we're going to need a picture on the show notes
definitely
page.
gonna need the picture. Did you and Julian get a picture before this party or at this party?
Oh no, we did. But I do have a picture of myself in the skirt. We were kind of just rushing out the door because he gets home from work late, and I was already ready when he was home, and so I was like, we gotta go because I didn't want to miss all the finger foods getting passed out.
That's the most important part.
It definitely is. Forget the
And
clothes.
they did not disappoint. So I was like, we gotta get there before all the food's gone. This is just the way that my brain works. But
It sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah, so I like a little bit of both for my 2018 holiday party circuit. So I definitely do like the ugly Christmas party route. It's really, really fun for me. But then I also like kind of classy approach. I just finished making this teal blue fur bolero, so now I can throw it on things for my parties coming up.
Ooh,
So
that sounds really pretty.
Yeah. So what are your guys' signature or classic holiday looks? Do you go the ugly Christmas sweater route, or do you, shimmer it up a bit?
I wish I had a holiday party look, but we don't really got little kids. We don't really go to like super fancy holiday parties. But if I did, I would probably pick what I sewed for the Holiday Separates article, which was the Jenny trousers from Closet Case Patterns.
Oh, you made those?
I made
Oh, I love
those in that black gabardine. It was just kind of classic, but kind of had a little bit of a flare with the wide leg. And then the Sew Into kimono tee from Named. Love that shirt, and we'll definitely have to be making some in my size.
That was definitely my favorite outfit of the ones that were put together.
I really liked that pairing, and I think, if I went to lots of holiday parties, that's what I would wear.
For me, I didn't really get the whole ugly Christmas thing until last year when I went to my husband's Christmas party, and two of the significant others of his coworkers were both wearing T-Rex themed ugly Christmas sweaters, and then I got it. That's what it took. I needed to see the T-Rex wearing the Santa hat, which you will see now recreated in one of the Creative Machine Embroidery ugly Christmas sweater designs that we put out this year. That's what finally made sense to me. And then for my birthday, my husband got an ugly Darth Vader Christmas sweater, which is amazing. So I don't have anything in that range yet, but I might be keeping my eye out for patterns or options. So I'm willing to give it a try, but I don't have it. As for what I actually usually do, like Amanda, I don't go to a whole lot of fancy stuff. My Christmas things are usually family birthday parties, honestly. Those are my holiday parties.
Oh, right, because you have all those.
Yes,
birthdays.
it's just family. It's like they're like every 12 days. It's exciting. But so that's usually, jeans and maybe a sweater. My parents keep their house really warm, so sometimes it's just jeans and T-shirts. But this year I did make my velvet skirt that I talked about in the last episode, and I've got a Hanukkah party coming up this weekend, so I think I'm going to do it up in a velvet skirt and probably a fuzzy sweater.
Nice.
And I'm going to glam up my makeup some and hopefully look kind of fancy. And then, of course, I'm also glamming up probably in the same skirt, actually, for the party on Friday. So velvet apparently is my signature thing, because I also have a velvet, it's actually a willow tank that I embroidered with some Christmas ornament designs that I wore last year when I was on a cruise in the Caribbean, so it was hot.
Well, you're right on trend again there, Kate, with your velvet. Yes. Yeah. Well, another one in the bag.
Oh my gosh, I'm really nailing this trend thing now.
You're doing it.
You're doing it. Oh, thanks so much, you guys. I love talking about holiday party wear. So lots of things to look forward to. And I need to see a picture of you guys at the Christmas party. And just have me in spirit there.
Oh, definitely.
Always. Okay, and now we're going to jump into the other side of holiday sewing and explore sewing handmade gifts. I thought to start us out, we could take a moment to appreciate my favorite meme of the season. You've probably seen it, and it says, "Me in September, I'm going to make a special handmade gift for everyone I love. Me in December, I love two people." That pretty much sums up my approach, you guys. But no, honestly, I think I do it backwards, because I usually decide early on that I'm not going to make any handmade gifts, and I'm just, go ahead and it's not even a question anymore, and put it out of my head. And then at the last minute, I completely panic and decide that I will sew all the teacher gifts and my husband a gift and my daughter a gift. And I'm not really sure which way is better, because I feel like you stress out both ways. What about you guys?
Well, I actually don't very often sew gifts for people. This all goes back to this all goes back to when I was in the theater, and all of the time I would sew for other people. Never sewed for myself, always sewed for actors. And once I ended up here, suddenly I started sewing for myself, and I'm like, wait, this is awesome. I get to sew something and then actually enjoy it for
not
myself.
going back.
Yeah, and there's a certain element of that. I mean, I'll do it occasionally. My mother-in-law asked for something a couple of years ago. She wanted a makeup bag that was big enough to hold all of her toiletries, so I made her that. And more than 10 years ago now, I made a bunch of my friends, because I'm a total nerd and I play role-playing games, so I made my friends dice bags. And when I'm saying my friends, all of my role-playing friends, which was about, 9, 10 people at the time. And a couple years ago, my best friend and her husband heavily dropped hints that their dice bags had worn out, so I made some more dice bags. But I do make homemade gifts for people. I just don't usually sew them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I actually alternate years. So last year I didn't make any gifts, but
Because you were the Grinch.
Yes. And this year I've already done a lot of the sewing. Again, as I was saying earlier, I'm in the Christmas zone, holiday Christmas sewing. Yes, I am. And I've already got almost all of them done. And it's just kind of special. But then by next year, I'll be so over it because I, just alternate. And I don't want to seem, is a stigma that it's cheap to give a handmade gift. And I just want to, spread it out each year, being like, here's like something store-bought, then I'll make you something. I don't know. That's just me, though. And I hate that stigma. I really do. But it just kind of helps, when you give it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I love the idea of alternating years. I think that's a really good idea because I feel like, maybe if you take a year off, the next year you might have some new ideas, some new patterns, so I can see, and you might not be, as stressed out about it. And I feel like most of the people I give handmade gifts to, aside from my children, they appreciate it. They know that, my time is valuable. So I feel like I usually don't get that kind of stigma, but I can see that totally exists.
Yeah. I think it's more self-stigma. From even myself. Like, I feel bad. It's like, oh, they know what I do for a living, too. They're like, oh, was this just like a work project that you're just pawning off? I'm like, no, I thought of it.
I've done that before.
For bonus.
And see, that's funny because for me, I would think, well, this is what Meg does for a living. She's a professional. This is giving me a professionally handmade, fashion-forward gift.
You guys are right. Woo.
Yeah. But I do understand that stigma. There's a certain amount of that out there in the world, just generally with anything handmade, and I suffer a lot of that from what I do make, which is soap. I make soap and give it to everybody at Christmas.
Your soap is so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I love your soap.
What? But I want soap.
I self-judge my soap really hard. I will make sure you get some soap, Meg, next time you're here.
Yay.
But yeah, it's I self-judge it. It's never as pretty as I want it to be, or there's some weird shape to it, and I'm always like, are people looking at my soap and judging it? And then I have to remind myself, hey, people think it's pretty cool that you can make soap, Kate. Maybe you shouldn't be criticizing your soap so much.
Yeah, no, I love it. Everybody in my family, I guess we all like fancy soap, which could really get expensive, but everybody loved your soap last year.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll bring you some more.
Please do.
Yeah, I've just been on such a faux fur sewing kick, so I made everyone these really nice faux fur headbands. They're so cool, so I'm really excited. Hopefully, if you're listening and you're getting a gift from me, you're probably getting that, but I did sew it with love, and they're really awesome. So
and they're high quality.
Right.
Very high quality. I actually just put up, speaking of using it for work, there is a tutorial on the blog on how to make them.
So you can see exactly how hard it is.
But that's the other way around. That's making a whole bunch of awesome presents and thinking, oh, I can also utilize this for work. Right?
Yeah, totally.
All right, you guys, let's dish. on, I'm sure you have some stories. What do you have an awesome best handmade gift story? Or is your best story about an awful handmade gift story?
I'm not sure mine quite counts as either. Can I deviate from sewing again for this one?
Sure.
All right. So
Yeah.
many years ago, well, all right. So the original origin is that my grandmother knitted my sister and I stockings. Back when I'm so young, I can't remember a time before I had this stocking. And the nice thing about knit stockings, for the record, is they stretch, and you can stuff so much stuff into knit stockings. So after I started knitting myself, I found a knit stocking pattern so I could make the same one for my niece, or for something similar for my niece. And then one day I found it again. I was like, oh, I'm going to make my husband this knit stocking. And so I pulled it out, and I start knitting. I follow the instructions exactly. I buy the exact yarn they tell me to get. I use the exact size needle they tell me to get. And for some reason, this stocking came out like twice the size that it was supposed to. It's huge. My husband, he has this giant pumpkin head. If you're listening, honey, I'm sorry, but we all know it's true. And he could wear this thing as a hat. Right, it's that big. It will go on around his head like a hat, and he does sometimes, usually like on Christmas Eve because he's silly. He's embarrassed to use it because it's so big. It makes him feel greedy. So that is the best handmade gift I ever made, was the enormous stocking.
What about you, Meg?
Are we talking about gifts that we've made or gifts that we have received?
Either.
Yeah, either one.
Either or. Okay, because I'm thinking about a gift that I guess it wasn't so much a gift, but it was a gift. It was, remember, Kate, when we went to that sewing expo in September and there was like that project swap?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the project that I got in the swap was this makeup brush holder for traveling. And I use it every single time I travel, and it was so I usually never receive a homemade gift for myself because people usually don't make things for me because they know I can just make it myself. But I just love it. It was so cool. It was like a face towel and folded up halfway and stitched, and it collects all the makeup dust and it rolls up, and so that was something really awesome that I got. So thank you to whoever out there, if you're listening and you
Let us know.
went to in September 2017 in Chicago. I love it.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't really. I think the way you could sum up my handmade gift giving is kind of meh. You know, I don't have a whole lot of amazing experiences. I don't have a whole lot of horrible experiences. But I don't know. I think that sometimes it does feel like a bit of a letdown when you make something for somebody and they don't
Gush.
They don't gush. And but I mean, I'm mostly talking about my 6-year-old daughter who is, comparing a handmade garment to whatever new fancy toy that she's gotten for Christmas. So pretty much setting myself up for failure in that way. But I do still do it, last minute. But I did, Meg, you said something that made me think about this. I think there is a conception out there, or a misconception, that that people who make things don't like receiving handmade things.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like it's the exact opposite. Like I
Oh, really?
understand. For me, I understand how much work goes into making something,
Right.
and I understand, that it's someone's time. And I don't know. I feel like I appreciate handmade gifts more than your average person, maybe because I know what goes into
totally.
them.
Yeah, I agree, and that's exactly it. It's not just like, oh well, Meg knows how to sew, so this isn't a big deal. It's, wow, Meg went through the effort of making this for me. That's so cool. My mom is a quilter. I think I've mentioned to you too before, and she has made me quite a few quilts over the years, and also wall hangings. Specifically oriented towards my personal interests. Like I've got one on my wall in my office that is Civil War style dresses. It's really pretty. but
Your mom made that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mom made that for me.
It's so cool.
It is really cool. I get a lot of attention for it. When I first hung it up, every single one of the people in the quilting department stopped by to tell me how cool it was.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, my mom made that. But every time I open a quilt, which is usually for something big, it's usually like my graduation or
big gift.
or my wedding. I have a wedding quilt. And then last year she gave me a small one, which actually I think was just, she saw the kit, she liked the kit, she made the quilt, and then she didn't have anything to do with it, so she gave it to me for Christmas. And I love it, and I like to, I sit under a quilt when I watch TV that my mom made, and my husband sits under a quilt that my mom made for him when we watch TV, and then our cat Patsy comes and rubs all over them because she adores these quilts as much as we do.
Oh, well, I just talking about holidays, so it kind of triggers just my memory. I have this story. It's just a quick story of a gift that I made for my soon-to-be father-in-law. He loves his sweets and chocolate. He's Polish. And just as like a joke, I sewed up this, it's just like a little shopping bag. It's just a little bag, but I used broccoli print fabric. You know, in the quilt section of the fabric store, there's like food
Love
printed
those
fabric.
novelty prints.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's his secret chocolate stash hidden in the broccoli bag, and it's like sits by his like armchair in the living room, and he every year on his birthday we fill up and he just loves this little. I just thought nothing. I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, I'll make this little bag. I'll look at this weird broccoli print, and I just thought that just something that I made, and it was well loved, and so I'm gonna fill it up this year
I
too.
love that story.
So
Yeah.
is that, what, do you guys have a go-to gift that you make for people?
No, not really. It kind of depends on who the person is. For my friends, I can always turn to that dice bag idea because most of my friends are geeks like me. But other than that, it's just kind of who is this person and what do I think they'll like. Oh, and
I
so
think for me,
And so,
yeah, it changes each year. So each year I make something handmade and I make it for everyone. So 2 years ago I just got an embroidery machine recently, and I made everyone custom embroidered tea towels. So everyone got embroidered tea towels. And then last year I made some faux fur kind of shrugs. And then this year it's all about the faux fur headband. So it changes each year, but everyone kind of gets the same handmade thing. I just make a bunch of them.
that's a great idea.
it's a good way to do it.
I mean, I definitely try to avoid anything that fits. Last year, I
Right.
was all
Yeah.
about cardigans because, they can be a little bit oversized. And it's kind of like a cozy outer layer. I've also done backpacks. I'm a big fan of the Desmond Roll Top backpack by Taylor. I've made a few for folks in my family. Again, because then that can work for a guy, work for a gal. Definitely tote bags for teachers is my go-to because
that's
it's
a good
pretty
idea.
quick. But you can make something kind of special. And this year, I will see if I've got time. I just made my first ball cap, like a little baseball cap, and I was thinking that would be a really great gift to make, maybe for my husband. Hope he's not listening. And maybe for the kiddos. Something that can really work for a lot of different people. And again, you don't have to worry too much about the sizing there. But I think dudes in particular are hard for me. I think it's tricky.
Yeah.
For anybody who needs some additional ideas, I pulled together some of my favorites, including some of the gifts I mentioned just now on the So Daily blog. So I'll link over from the show notes page to that because it's always good to get some new, fresh ideas.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out. I need some ideas for the men.
The men, it's so hard.
The men.
Well, speaking of gifts, we have a free gift for our listeners this week. If you head over to the show notes page, you can download the Basic Beanie and Infinity Scarf set now through the end of December. And this is a great little stash buster if you've got random scraps of sweater knits left, or maybe even a thicker rib knit. And it's a great last-minute gift and a great shortcut if you don't knit or crochet, or if that just takes you a long time, which I'm definitely in that camp. So grab that pattern and make one for yourself, or make one, to give maybe.
Or make a whole bunch to give because they do sew up pretty quick.
They sew up so quick. So
Yeah, just cut them all out at once, then bulk.
That's just a little assembly line.
that's the way to do
Yeah.
it. So maybe that'll help you out this holiday season as you're making gifts. You can sew up one of those. So enjoy.
All right, and now it's time for our SewJo segment, which we're always excited to get to. For anybody who's not familiar, SewJo is a abbreviation of Sewing Mojo, and it is the thing that is currently getting us excited and making us want to sew something. So we're each going to talk about what's giving us our SewJo today. Meg, why don't you start?
All right, so I thought about this, and in going with the holiday theme, I do my Meg's Magazine mashup every month. And so my SewJo right now, I just finished November, so I need to pick a December issue pattern from the Berta magazine, and I'm picking this really cool overlay dress. So it's a really simple, sleek silhouette two-part dress, and so the inside's this spaghetti strap dress, and the outer layer is a long sleeve sheer embroidered fabric, so it's still kind of separate, but it is a dress. So I want to make a cool New Year's Eve outfit out of like a really cool, I haven't gone fabric shopping for it yet, so yeah, a really nice New Year's Eve outfit. I don't have plans yet, so maybe something will hopefully happen. If not, I'll just be sitting with Bunny and Julie and
Wear it
just
to the
pouring
grocery
it in the new
store.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
Wear it to the grocery store, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool pattern. I was flipping through that issue.
Did you see
Yeah, I
it?
was flipping through that issue
Yeah.
the other day, and I need to get a hold of that, the kind of oversized cape jacket pattern. I love that.
Oh, yes. No, that one's really cool, too. Was that one of the buttons on the
Yep,
side?
that's the one.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Mhm,
hey,
that's a really
everybody,
good
check
one,
out that pattern because it's super pretty.
We'll link to it in the show notes
Yes,
page as well.
exactly. Amanda, what's your SewJo today?
Well, mine is kind of different this week, but it is a hashtag challenge that happens every December.
Amanda's a fan of the hashtags.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm, Instagram obsessed over here. So it's hashtag Sewing Top 5, and it's hosted by
Ooh.
at Jillian Crafts. And it is, it's a challenge where you kind of take a look back at your sewing year. So you make, you can do images, you can make a list, you can do however you want to pull things together, but you take a look at your sewing top 5 hits, your top 5 misses, your top 5 reflections from the year of sewing, your highlights, and your top 5 goals for the new year. And I did it last year for the first time, and I just thought it was really nice to take a pause, look back, think about what you kind of learned over the year, kind of remember what you even made, because sometimes it's hard to do that.
Oh, yeah, the amount of things that we need to, that we make for our jobs,
Exactly.
I totally don't, I don't know
Yeah,
what I made.
so-
What was I making back in February?
I know,
don't
it
remember.
feels like 5 years ago. So I love the challenge, and I'm going to definitely do it again this year. How about you,
Awesome.
Kate?
Well, my SewJo is not a new thing necessarily. It's kind of been in the back of my mind for at least 6 months now. But I'm kind of in love with pineapples right now. And I think maybe the world in general is because I'm seeing them everywhere. Or maybe it's just because I'm interested in them. But pineapples on shoes, that's coming up in an upcoming issue of CME, and pineapples wherever I see pineapples. So a couple months ago, I got it's outdoor fabric. I got it on clearance. It's this lovely pineapple print. And I have finally decided that what I'm going to do with it is make a zippy crossbody bag by Sally Tomato, which I'm going to size up some because I think that's about 8 inches by 8 inches, and that's a little small for me. But I've got some natural cork coming and some antique gold hardware.
Ooh.
And I'm going to combine all of this and make a gorgeous little bag. And I am super excited to make my pineapple bag and have some tropics in the winter.
You'll have to give me some tips on working with cork. I've always wanted to make something with cork fabric. I've never worked with it before.
Oh, I have lots of tips to give you because
Oh, do
I have
you?
made
Oh,
my
you'll have to-
current purse actually also has cork in it.
Oh, does
yeah, my
it?
mother-in-law went to Portugal last year, and for Christmas she gave me a roll of pink and gold flecked cork. and I made this gorgeous purse out of it. And now I've
Yeah,
got about
coming to think of it, yeah, there is so much cork in Portugal. I was there a couple years ago for my cousin's bachelorette, and there was cork things
it's because
everywhere.
it grows there. That's
Yep. That's some sewing
learn
trivia
something
for
new
you.
every day.
Well, no, cork trees are really cool. They're sustainable. You can cut the outer bark off of them, and that's what you make the fabric out of. And then it just grows back, and it doesn't hurt the tree. It actually makes it grow better. So
it's like a sustainable fabric.
yeah, totally
too, eh?
sustainable and totally eco-friendly. So it's a great material, and I'm excited to work with it some more.
Oh, I'm excited to see it.
I'll put up a picture when I get it finished, and that may not be that fast though because I'm a slow bag sewer. All right, and now it's time for our Sew and Tell question. Last time we asked you, what's your essential garment to take when you travel? And we got a couple of responses to that we're going to read to you. Meg?
So I'll read this first one. Jody emailed us in saying, similarly to Kate, I only really travel to warm weather climates, and I'm all about a maxi dress. I throw it on first thing in the morning, and it can transition me all throughout the day, acting as a cover-up to even a dinner dress when going out. Best of all, it covers up my pale legs to help shield me from all the sun. I totally have that problem.
Same here.
And they are easy to make and allow me to use bright and bold prints. So before every vacation, I whip up a few and throw it in my suitcase with some swimsuits and a large hat, and I'm totally beach ready. Love that.
I do too. I
know.
approve.
Such a good idea.
Amanda, do you have one for us?
I do. This is from our show notes page. Megan Jane, thank you so much for commenting. And she says, my most essential garment would be one of my long cardigans. I have several, my favorite being the Blackwood from Helen's Closet. They serve as a cover-up and a dressing gown at night as well. I've made most of them from beautiful stretch bamboo modal in both heavy and lightweight. I also love the Helene Cardi from Jolly. Long cardigans work well with jeans, dresses, or skirts and roll up easily to fit into a suitcase. I love this for so many reasons, but mostly because I just bought the Blackwood cardigan from Helen's Closet. That was my only purchase on Black Friday, and I already sewed one up. And I love that pattern, and I love cardigans for travel.
Oh yeah, that sweater vest you made from that pattern is super cute. And then we have one more response. It came from Instagram from The Salty Fry, which is a great screen name. And she said, I love making wrap dresses with fabric that I think matches the places I'm going. Wrap dresses are the perfect combination of cute and comfortable, so they're travel must-haves. And I would have to agree with that.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, totally. And it's I always grow a little bit when I travel. And
how you're supposed to do it.
Nice and expanding.
Yes,
and
exactly. And
yes.
I love the concept of matching to where you're going. I'm totally like that.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
Give me a Hawaiian print when I'm on my way to Hawaii, and I'll be happy. For sure. All right, so. Our question for this episode, tying back to what we were talking about earlier, and I'm going to change it up a little bit from our original one, you guys. I'm just going to surprise you here. What is the best homemade gift you ever gave or received? Let us know, because I bet everybody out there has some great stories.
Absolutely. Let's hear them.
Yeah, we want to hear
give us all the nitty gritty.
So head over to our show notes page or check us out on Instagram and give us your answers, because we want to hear about them and tell people about them when we come back after the Christmas break. So that's it for us today. Thanks for chatting with me, guys. I'm totally in the Christmas spirit now.
I know. I think we need some Christmas music.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, here I am still drinking my pumpkin spice tea. I definitely need to switch that into some peppermint action for sure.
Tis the season.
Absolutely.
Tis the season.
All right.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
right.
Happy stitching.
Happy holidays. For links to everything we talked about in this episode, go to our show notes page at sewdaily.com/sewandtell. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at sewandtellpodcast@fwmedia.com or visit us on Instagram at sewandtellpod. Answer the Sew and Tell question, tell us your SewJo, or just leave us some feedback. If you enjoyed our show, please subscribe on your podcasting platform of choice. And please leave us a review, ideally a good one, because that helps listeners like you find our podcast. And tell your sewing friends about us too. Thanks for listening, and happy stitching. Sew and Tell is a production of F&W Media Studios and is produced and hosted by Meg Healy, Amanda Carestio, and me, Kate Zaynard. Our audio engineer and editor is Evan Rutherford, and our executive producer is Jared Mayer.